Hi guys, welcome to Becodewala. I welcome you to my new amazing tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to build a draggable image slider. So I have implemented 4 ways through which you can slide the images. So we will see and we will build this draggable image slider using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's see the demo of our project first. So here you can see that we have a buttons, right, for the previous images and for the next images. So we can click on this, it will go to the next image, but when I click on this it will go to the previous image. So you can see that we have implemented these buttons so that you can slide the images. This is the first functionality we have added. Second functionality is this dot. You can see that the dot icons below. So when you click on that, so suppose you want to go on the second image slider, you can click on this and it will go to the second image slider. If you want to go to the last one, you can click on the last dot, you can go to the last image. So two, you can see that the two ways, right? For first the this icon where you can go to the previous and next images. Second, these dot icons right below. Two methods. And the third method is like you can through your mouse and through your, like in mobile phones, with your finger touch you can slide the images. You can see that I am sliding currently image through my mouse. You can click on the left and you can see it is sliding through your mouse by clicking on the left click, right? You can see that with the mouse and with your finger on your mobile devices, and it is fully responsive also. So the three methods we have seen that first this icon for previous and the next for the image slider. Second, this touch slider, you can with your mouse and with your mobile phones you can slide the images. Third, this dot icon. And the fourth, I've implemented the arrow keys, the left and right arrow keys. So suppose I went to my keyboard and I click on the, see, I'm clicking on my the left and right arrow, see, and it is going back and forward, see. So I have added for functionality this icon, this dot below, and the draggable with our finger and the with your mouse, you can see that. And the fourth one is like your left and right keyboard I button. And you can see that when I go for responsiveness, you can see that it is fully responsive and it is working fully responsibly and correctly. You can see that everything is working totally fine. And when I click on the arrow icon, so in your keyboard the left and right arrow, you can see that it is working totally fine. So four ways I have implemented which you can use and drag your image. So we will build using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe us. So I have created a folder image slider and I have imported in my VS Code editor. So here I will create index.html, and after that we'll create a style.css for the styling for our image slider. Then we'll write the functionality using JavaScript, right? So we'll write script.js. So let's start with our HTML file. So I'll create the boilerplate code for our HTML, and here I will write the image slider Becodewala. So here I have written the image slider Becodewala. After that, in the head only we have to link our style.css. So I have linked my style.css so that it will whatever the style we will apply on our HTML, right? So it will look beautiful, right? We have a style this whole image draggable image slider using style.css, right? And after that we have to link our JavaScript. So we will use script tag inside the body, and here we will write src, and in this we'll pass the script.js, so that any functionality, whatever the image we will add in our HTML, so on that image we have to apply some functionality, right? So using JavaScript, so we have to link our JavaScript to our HTML file, because we are using external files, like for styling, and the JavaScript for the functionality, right? So first we will write the HTML. So here we can create a div, and in this div, let me make it more space, and now we will write. So in this div we will add a class, right? In this class we will write slider and container, slider container. So here you can see that, so all image slider in a container, right? So we'll wrap in a container, so slider container. And after that, in this container we have a heading. So here in our container we have a heading, right? So let me write the heading. So h1. So let me go with the live, and so here we will see our output here only. So I will split the windows. Yeah, so here in h1 tag we have to apply the draggable image slider, this heading, the text, and we have to add a class. Why we are adding class? To apply some functionality, styling, right? So that's why we are adding class, right? So here I have added a heading, right? Now here you can see that we have to wrap this in a div, and in this div we will add this all the images, these buttons, this all this functionality, right? So we will create a separate div for the wrapping our all the images, and you can see that over the images we have a overlay text also, right? For the details of this image, forest and the sunlight through the trees, right? So we have added the overlay heading and the paragraph also, so we'll add that also, right? So here in this div we will add a class, and in this class we'll write slider wrapper. So I have added slider wrapper class, and in this we will add another div, and in this div we'll add a class slider, and after that we'll add a id. So id will be slider. So using this id we will apply the functionality on the images, so that user can click and slide the images, right? So after creating this we have to create a tip slide, and where we will wrap our all the images. So for the images also we will write a class slide, and in this class slide we'll add a image. So I will just copy and paste my images. So here let me close this. So what I am doing, right? So this is the source file, the images, right? So this image is coming from the unslash.com. So you can go to the unslash.com, here unsplash.com. So this is the web platform where it offers beautiful free images to download and use for any project. So you can go to that website and you can get the images, right? You can copy the link and paste here. So you will get the free source code of this project, don't worry. And here you can see that in the src we have to paste our link of our images, right? And here we have added the alternate text if images is not displayed. So after this images adding our images. On the images we have a, right, we have a heading and the this paragraph also, right? So how we are going to add? So here we'll create a div, separate div. Why we are creating separate div for each? So that it will not interfere with the other and it will be easy to style and add functionality. Overlay, so slide overlay, and in you can see that slide overlay, this is the class we are using, and in this we have to add two divs. So in this div we'll add the this paragraph. You can see that first div is the mountains, and here you can see that the first div, so mountain serenity, and here we have added another div for the paragraph, right? And we have added a class for styling. We will use this class name and we will style this. So you can see that it is not looking good, right? You can see that it is looking ugly, right? So we will style with the help of the CSS. So let me format this document. Yes, so we have format our document. So here you can see that we have a div slide, right? This is the div slide. So this div contains our images, right? In this we have a one images, we need four images. So if you want three images you can use three divs, right? And we have to change the our link of the images, right? So here we have a div slide, right? I'll just copy and I will paste the same. So that div slide, it will create one more images and with the text, right? So similarly we have to create for the four images. So we have to copy and paste that thing, and we will one two, let me copy and paste. So I'll copy and paste. So I have added four images. So similarly, like first we have added, similarly we have added the same class. You can see that slide. Just I have changed the images link because I want to display another image for the second image slider, right? And same class for the title and same class for the description. And here we have to change the text because for this image we have to use, like we are going to use the heading and title for the images is different, right? So similarly we have using the third image, fourth image, and the separate title and the description for each image. So we have added this. Now after this we have to go, and so in this div we have wrapped our this images, right? All the images, this image, right? Now like out of this image we have this three dots and the like this two buttons which is on the top of the image, right? So we will create this navigation buttons, right? So and we will use the styling, the CSS, and we will place our like that icon previous and the next icon on our image. So how we are going to use? So we'll create a button, right? We'll create a button, and in this button we will use this. So in this button, let me show you. So I'll just copy and paste and show you what I have done. So here below I use a button tag, right? And in this button tag first I have used the nav arrow. This is the class, so I have used two classes. So nav arrow, this is the arrow icon, right? This is the arrow icon, that one and two, both arrow icon. So we have used the same classes because we want to style for the both the arrow in the same, but I want previous icon on the left, next icon on the right, right? So I have added one more class. So here I have, you can give a space and add many more classes, right? So here how we can use two classes. So this is the first class and this is the second class for each button, and id previous button. So we are using id so that we can, through this id we will select this button element and we will apply the functionality using JavaScript. And here we are using the label previous image, right? So this is the label like previous image, next image. And here I have not used any icon from the like Google or any font and icon provider, right? I am just use this the icon. This is the less than, see, this is the less than icon, right? And greater than the icon that I have used. So you can see that this is the character, ASCII character. You can see that this is the icon that I have used here. So I'm not using external any icon provider, just I use the less than icon, right? You can see that this icon. And after this icon we have this four like dots, right? So we will add a functionality in such a way that suppose you in future if you added 5 images, automatically 5 dot will be created, no need to add one more dot, right? So we will see that functionality how to add that in the JavaScript, right? So uh, out of this div we have to add a indicator. So I'll add indicator here. So this is the div, right? We created a div, and in this div we have added a class, right? Class slider indicator, and we have added a id indicator. We'll use this id and we'll apply the functionality on this id. So here you can see that the previous and the next icon below, you can see that, and it is not working right now because we have not added the functionality. First we'll style this, so it is looking ugly, right? So let's style our image slider. So first we will go with our whole web page. So for the web page we'll apply margin 0, padding 0, and we will apply the box sizing, border box. So now we can apply on our body element in our HTML that we are using, right? So we will use the font family. So it depends on you what font family you want to use. So I am using this font family, right? And these are the optional font family if the first one doesn't work. So it depends on you which font family you want to use. Then we we have used the background color, right? You can see that in the background we have a beautiful color in the linear gradient in our body tag. So so for that body tag we have used a background. See the background, so we have applied the background, right, for our whole, you can see that the whole page, right? So we have applied the linear gradient, right, and 135 degree with this color, with the 0% to the 100% with this color. So we have applied the linear gradient. Then we will apply the minimum height. So minimum height we will write 100 vh, so that it will take the 100 viewport of our screen. And display flex, right, and justify content. So we can write justify content center, align item center, then padding 20 pixel. So we have we are styling our image slider. Now after the body tag we will go for the slider container class. Slider container. So this slider container class is coming from our index.html. See, This is the class in which all our images, right, is present. Whole text and the three dots, everything is in this div. We have wrapped, right? So we'll write position relative, and we can use the max width. So maximum width, we can take 1200 pixel. We'll make it responsive using our like media queries, so no worries. And we can use the width 100%. Then we have used background, so in the background it should be RGBA, and we can write red, green, blue, right? So I will just copy and paste the style for this. So I have used the like background. So background is RGBA, means red, green, blue, and opacity, right? So here I have used 0.1. Then backdrop filter blur, so 10 pixel. Then border radius 20 pixel. Then padding we have taken 30 pixel, and a box shadow and the border for our. So here you can see that we have a border, right? You can see that border and beautiful back shadow behind this image, and the blur, right? So we have used this. So this is not responsive right now. We will use and we will make it responsive, right? So you can see that it is how it is showing right now. So we have to make it responsive. You can see the results, the live result in the right side of our screen. And for the slider title, so I'll use the this slider title. So this is the slider title. Where is your slider title? This is the class. We are using this class, right? So this, on this class we have added our heading draggable slider image, right? So here we have text align center, so that it should be in center, color white, and the font size 2 rem, font weight 300, and the margin bottom 330 pixel, and the text shadow of the text, so that it should look good, right? So it depends on you how you want to like style your the project. And you can see that after that after this we have a slider wrapper class, right? So we will use this class to style this div also. So dot, so when you are styling with for the classes we are using dot, right? So here we'll write position relative, then we can write overflow hidden. And see, the image was overflowing, right? See see image is overflowing out of this div, but we don't want to overflow this image. So we will write overflow hidden, so that it will not overflow out of this div, right? You can see the result on the right side live, right? Border radius, so let me write border radius like 15 pixel. See, the image has a border radius 15 pixel. Then we can write box shadow for this image. So let me write the box shadow 0, 15 pixel, 35 pixel, and with this color with for the box shadow. So you can see that the image, but this image is too long, no worries, we'll style it. And let's go for the another class that we have used. In this we have used slider class. So let's style this div also, right? So that all the images will be responsive. So slider, in this we can use display flex, right? Display flex, and we can add the transition. So we have adding transition on our image when we slide, right? So transform 0.4 second cubic bezier with this and after that cursor grab. So see, now the cursor is this you can see that how the cursor is the arrow icon. Now when we apply the cursor grab, right, so you can see that the hand icon, right, this is the grab. So means that you can, why we are using this, because we are telling the user you can use this to slide your images, right. So when we hover on our image, the see the cursor become grab and scroll x. So I want to scroll in x direction because we want to scroll our images in our x direction, right. You can see that x direction, right. So we don't want to scroll in our y direction, right. So after that, see, we have a slider, and here let's style another. So we have used the dragging class inside. We have in this class, here in our HTML file, in this slide class, you can see that in the slider class, right, this is the slider class. In this we don't have dragging class, we don't have, but we are using dragging class. From where it is coming? So when we will write the JavaScript for this project, we will add this class to this slider div. So how we can add the class using JavaScript? So we will see. So here we have added this slider dragging, right, and after that, for the slide, you can see that in the slide we have all the images, text and everything, right. So for the slide class, so for the slide class I have used the flex 00 and auto, then width 100%, so that image should be 100%, scroll, snap, align, start, and the position relative. Now let me format this document, and after this slide we have an image, right, inside we have an image, so we have to style our images. So to style our images, so we will use the slide img, and here let me write one by one. So width I can write 100% for the images, 100%, 100%. See, when we use 100%, see, it is looking responsive, right, you can see that. Then height of the images like 400 pixel. Then we can write object feet cover, so that it should be proper responsive, see. And display block, then we can write user select none, and WebKit drag none, and so these are the simple styling. So here we have a style our images, right. Now we have to make this text, you can see that the title and the paragraph on top of this. So we have used a class slide overlay this, so we will use this slide overlay class. So let's use dot slide overlay. So in the slide overlay class we have to use position absolute, not relative, absolute, see. And now we will make on the top of the image, so bottom 0 and left 0, see, it is came on the top of the image, you can see that. So whole text is come on the top of the image, left 0, right 0, and after that you can apply the background linear gradient, color and the padding and the border radius for this t. So whatever in the text, so we apply the text white, right, color and the linear gradient, right, color, padding, it depend on you how you want to style your project. After that we have a title, right? So we can increase the title. So title size we can increase using this class slide title. So here is slide title. Font size 1.5 variant, font weight we can increase, margin from the bottom we can take margin. Similarly we can style our description. You can see that description font size 1 rem. We can make the opacity, line height. So these are the simple css, so that it should be responsive. See, it is fully responsive. Now we have this arrow icon, right? Previous and next, so we will style that also. So to style our nav arrow, so let me use the nav arrow class that we apply on the arrow. So go below here, nav arrow. So this is the class common to both, because we want to apply the same style on this. This is the common style, right? See, the styling for both is looking similar. And after that we use the second class to make this on the left and this next icon on the right, right? So let's write the code for that. So I'll use the nav arrow. So in this nav arrow class we can write position absolute, and we can write top. From top we can write 50%. Then see, it went to the top. Then transform translate y 50%. So we are making responsive and in the center, right? And the background, backdrop filter, width, let me copy and paste the style. So you can pause the video and you can copy, right? So what I have done, I have applied the position absolute as we applied position absolute on our this mountain and the this paragraph, right? Text. So similarly we applying on this also position absolute. Then from top we are taking 50% so that it should be in center, and transform translate y in the y direction we are actually making the minus 50%. And then we are using blur, background color, right? Border we are applying. So this is the border. So when I remove this border, we will not see the border. See, so this is no border, right? So we'll apply the this RGB border on our circle, and we have made the color white, you can see that. And width and height for the icon. So when I remove this width height, you can see that. So width height become very small, right? So we have applied the width and icon, and border radius 50% so that it become rounded, right? And when I remove this, it will not be rounded. You can see that it is in a square shape. So when you apply the 50%, it will become rounded. The cursor pointer, when you apply the cursor become pointer. And the font size, the font weight, the display flex, align item center. This is the simple css to make it in beautiful and in the center. And z index 10 so that it should be on the top. So here we can see that you just select none and box shadow for this. So you can see that the only one icon is showing, right? So we have to make one in the right, one in the left. So we have used another class. Here we have used the previous and the next for the two icons, right? So we will style that also. But before that we can apply the hovering effect. So when we hover on it, the background color becomes C, and the arrow icon become color become this hashtag 333, this color, right? The arrow icon and the background become white, right? This RGBA color. And transform translate y, so it is scaling, it is increasing the size. When we hover, we have applied the box header, border color, right? So these are the simple css you can use to make it more beautiful. So now we have applied, if narrow, if it is active, we can apply the transform translate y to and the scale to 9.5 if it is active. So non, if you don't want to apply this, you can skip this, but if you want to make it more better, so you can apply this all this css, and you can pause the video, we can type all this code. And if you don't want to type, you can get the free source code on my github, and please give a star and the follow on my github. So let's style. So we want to make the left icon, the previous icon on the left side, and the arrow icon on the right side. So I will the next the arrow icon, next icon on the right side, right 20 pixel, and the previous icon, this icon on the left side 20 pixel, right? So when you apply this class, it become, you can see that the beautiful, right? And I click, it is not sliding because we have not applied the functionality. We will apply the functionality using JavaScript, right? So let me format this document. Yeah, so after that we have indicators, right? So we have indicator slide class indicator. So here it should show the indicators. So to show the indicators, let's apply the class for that also. The style for that class, like display flex, then content center, margin top, and the gap is 12 pixel. So here you have applied the margin gap between this all these indicators, right? Now in this slider indicator we have id indicator, right? But we have not used the class indicators. So we have I am going to apply the class indicator. So this class indicator comes from our JavaScript. When we will write the JavaScript, we'll create this class and add this class to this div. So don't worry. In this, just simply we have added height, width, border radius 50%. So make it in a round, right? So see, the it is in the round shape, right? So that's why you use border at 50%. And why we are using this class here using JavaScript? Because we are not adding manually this indicator, we are adding with the help of JavaScript. So as many you can, we will add the images, it will automatically create the this indicator. So we will write the functionality how it will automatically create this indicator based on the number of images, right? So if it is active and hover not, so we can apply another class for this. So let me close this. Yeah, so on indicator, if it is active, background white. See, if it is active, so background is white, right? Because we are on the second event, so it is active right now. And scale 1.2, so you can see that the size is little big for this, and box shadow you can use. And if it is not active and hover, like, so then background become this, and the transfer scale 1.1. So we have to remove the styling when we it become unactive. So suppose we want to second slider, suppose we want to the go on to the third slider on third indicator, so the remaining indicators should become this style scale decreases and the background color also change, right? So that we are using this thing, right? Now it is fully responsive, but we can add our uh, responsiveness using media query, right? So that proper responsiveness should be there. It is responsive right now, but we can, for the safer side, we can write our media queries. So how we are going to style, suppose if it is not responsive, so we can write media. So I'm teaching you how we can make it like responsive. So max width 786 pixel, and here let me remove this 768 pixel. So here we are using the media @media. So using this, and we have to apply the breakpoint at what, at this breakpoint, how our image should look, how our the card should look, right? So we can apply the here styling differently for this at this breakpoint, so that it should be responsive. So this how we made the responsive. Now suppose I want the our slider container should be padding 20 pixel and the margin 10 pixel on this breakpoint. So it it will apply this styling. Suppose I want the title should be different on this breakpoint. So you can see that the draggable image slider become in the single line. Before it was on the multiple line, it because its size is big, right? Now we have decreased the size and the margin from bottom here. So see how we are making responsiveness for this breakpoint, right? Similarly for the images, arrow, description, whatever we are using inside this, at this breakpoint we can style. So I apply, see the images height, right? I have decreased, right? 300, before it was 400 pixel, right? Now nav arrow size also I have decreased the text, mountain size, and the this everything we made the small, proper, responsive, that size and all we have decreased, so that it should be proper responsive on this breakpoint. Suppose I want to breakpoint on the 480 pixel. This was on the max width 768. Now suppose we want on the different breakpoint. So here we can apply it similarly at the red media, right? You can use, and here we have to use the breakpoint max width and minimum width. There are two ways to make it responsive, so we are using max width. And here I want the slider content padding 15 pixel at this max width breakpoint type. Slide overlay, I want the nav arrow let 10 pixel at this breakpoint. So according to your needs we can style all these things. Suppose we want animation on the images, right? When we are sliding, it should be animated, right? So let me see, when we are styling, so it has some animation, right? So we have used fade in animation forward, right? And here we can, it is not showing the image right now because we have not applied. So this is the animation name fade in, so we have not created the animation. So using keyframes we have are going to apply the animation. So with the media we make it responsive at the rate media at the rate keyframes we apply the animation. This is the animation name, right? Fade in this fade in it make it opacity to 1. This is the, and ease and forward for the 0.6 second. So currently it is showing the first image and it is not sliding because we have not applied the functionality, right? So we have completed our styling for this image slider. Now we have to write the JavaScript part for this, and we will apply the functionality so that it will, when we click it should slide the image, when we drag, right, it should slide the image, when you click on the button on our keyboard, left hand arrow button, it should slide the image, when you click on the dots then it should slide the image. The dots is not appearing because we have to create the dot using JavaScript, right? So let's write the JavaScript functionality. So for adding a functionality to our draggable slide component, we have to create a class. So we will create a class named draggable slider. So we will create a class draggable slider, and in this we have to use constructor. We'll create a constructor. A constructor is called when a new object of the class is created, right? So we are going to use constructor in our class, and in this we'll first we will select the element so in which we want to apply the functionality. Like suppose this is the slider. When we slide, when we slide through this button, or any hovering, if like touching, or any like indicators. So suppose we want to slide this image, any of the method we use, right? So we have to apply, we have to select that element, which element we want to drag, right? So first of all we'll get the slider container by its id. So we have added id, right? This, where is our id slider. So we have to select that element using the id. So in javascript, right, this dot slider equal to document dot document dot get element by id slider. Then similarly we have to get all the slide elements within the slide container. What are there? Many images, right? Like 4 images. So all these 4 elements we have to take. So this dot slides equal to, we have to get all the slide element within the slider. So this dot slider. So this is the slider. In this, how many elements we have? So query selector all, and we have to select the all the sliders. So I want all the, in this we have a this each image, suppose this is the first image, so it has a slide class. This image also has a slide class, right? We have to select all the 4 images which has the slide class, query selector all, which is present in this the parent div, right? That element, right? Then we have to get the previous button. So we have to select the previous button. How we are going to select, get the previous button? Previous btn equal to, we have to write like previous prev previous btn. So document dot get element by id previous btn. So here you can see that the previous button that we are using, here we have a previous btn class, sorry, id, right? So we are selecting the id. Similarly we have to select the next btn, so next icon button. So when you click on this, it should go for the next slide image, right? So document dot get element by id next btn. Now we have to get the indicators. So this is the indicators id, right? That div. So this dot indicators, in this we have to use the document. We have to, why are we are using, because we are using document. So let me show you. When you inspect it, this is the html document in which all the elements are present in our document only. Like this is the div, right? This is in our document, right? So we have to select this by id, which element, like I want to select this div. So we will use document dot slider container. So that's why we are using all these things. So let me refresh, yeah. So document dot get element by id, and we will write the indicators, right? Let me write semicolon indicators. So we have get the container for the dots. Now we will write that this dot current index, the current index equal to 0. Why we are writing current index equal to 0? So we are considering that the index for the first image slide is 0, right? So we are initializing the current slide index with the current, we are on the 0. Suppose we want to go on the fourth image, right? So we have to get that the index of that image also, right? So after that we have to find the how many slides we have. How we are going to find the slides? So suppose here we have this all the slides we have getting all the slide element. Suppose we have 4 elements, so we have to get the length of that, right? So let me show you this dot total slides equal to, we have to write like this dot slides dot length. So this is the slide, all the element we are selecting, the all elements. So we have a 4 elements in which we have a slide class, the 4 images. So it will select all the elements. Then we have to find the length, means how many slide element are there. So we are using slides dot length, right? Then after that we have to get the width of the single slide. So when we are dragging, right, so let me show you. When you are dragging, see it, the first image slide come to the, so a little width. So when I click on this, see it is not going for the previous image because I have slide up to this width. So when I slide up to more than this width, it came, then it slides. If I slide for the less width, it will not slide. So suppose I drag this much and I leave it, so it is not sliding the previous image. When I select this much width, right, then it is sliding. So depend on the width, right? So we have to define that also, this dot slide width equal to 0. Initially it is 0 because initially we are not sliding the image, right? Then, and we have to get that how we have to track the state, right? We have to each dragging, we are dragging the images at what position we were start, how much we have translated. So so much, this much I have translated, so it will not slide. When I translate to this position, it will slide. And previous translate, we have to get the previous translate, how much we have translated in previously in x direction. Then we have to get the animation id, so id of the request animation in frame loop. So here let me show you. So I am going to get that. So I'll just copy and paste that also. So here we are using is dragging. So initially we are not dragging, it is false. Then start position 0, current translate 0, previous translate 0, and animation id 0. Then after this we have to initialize the method to set everything. So how we are going to initialize everything? So we have to use like this dot init, right, to initialize. So not indicators, init this dot init to initialize our method to set everything up, right? So after that, in init, let me go out of this. So what we are going to initialize, we have to write init method here. Init, in this we have to write all the functions, right? So update slide width, right, this dot update slide width. So let me copy and paste the previous code. So here this dot update slide width. So when we are sliding, right, so we have to find the width also. So for that we have created this function, and we will create this function below. We'll write the code for that. Just we are defining all this function, right? Create indicator. So this function what it will do, according to the number of element we are using, it will create that much indicator. Suppose we are using 4 images, so it will create 4 indicators only. So this function will create. So in this function we'll write below the function, and this function, it will create the number of indicators based on the elements. And here attach event listener, whatever the event like on the mouse drag, on the key arrow up down we are sliding, so we will write in this function. and here we are adding update the slide position. So we have to update the slider position, how much user has slided in the width in the x direction. According to that we have to move the images, right? Then we have to update the indicators. So whenever we are activating that, when we are clicking on this, we have to update the indicators, right? We are on this indicator, so we have to make this indicator active, right? So we have to get the index of that also. So that for that we are just defining these functions, nothing much. So now we have to update the width and position on the window resize. So to update the width on the window resize, we have to write like, let me show you. So window dot, here we will write in this init, we have to write the window dot add event listener resize. This is the event listener, like we use click and all. So resize event we are using. In this we are using a callback function, and in this we are updating the slide width when we are resizing, and update the slider width position based on the like resize of the window. So we have to update based on the resize of our window size. Now we have to set the slide width to the current slider containing the width. So how we are going to update that? So let me remove this. So to update that we have to use update slide width function. So here is our update slide width. So how we are going to update the slide width to the current slider container width? So to to write the function, so we have started writing for this function. So we are writing what this function will do. It will get the width of the current slide. How we are going to get the width of the current slide? So this the slide width. So this is the, here in the this object we are adding this dot slider dot offset width. So slider means this is the element, right? This is the element where our image is present, right, in this parent div. In this we have to get the offset width. So this offset width, it will find the width of the slider container. So you can go and check out on the mdn document reference. You can go and take if you don't know this. So this offset width find the, see, and it has shown the image here, the image how the offset height and the offset width. So it include like border, right, padding and the content, right? So this is the thing. You can go and see the examples how offset width works. So this is the javascript. So here now we have to create the indicator based on the total slide. So how we are going to create? So suppose here we are finding the total slides. So where here we are finding the total slide based on the this slides length, right? How many elements we have? So suppose we have 4 elements, so we have to create 4 indicators. So now in this function does, it will create the indicator. So let's write the code for that function, right? So I will just copy and paste the code for that. So let me post the code for that. So here let me show you this create indicator function. What it does, first the indicator inner html is empty, means first it will show nothing here. It is showing nothing, right, initially, when it will show the 4 indicators. So and here we are, why you are using this third indicator inner html? So indicators that element, that the element here we have selected the indicator. So this div, it will create the indicators. So how we are going initially, that is empty, right? So we are using for loop, and we are going to the total slide. So we have find the total slide using the number of slide element, right? And So suppose total slide is 4, so it will starting from 0 index and it will go to the 3, so 0 to 3, and the fourth will be 4, right? The I is less than the total slide, right? So here we are using the for loop on the 0 index. We are going to create a div. So here we use indicator class, right? So here you can see that the indicator class we have used, we have used in this parent div. So how we are going to add a div inside the parent div? So using JavaScript we are going to create a element, div element, where we are going to create. So in this div, inside this div, like we in HTML we used to create a div inside it, like manually we are typing like div and then we are creating. But using JavaScript, how we are going to create a div inside our parent div? So here we are creating using the create element, and what we are going to create? Div. So we are going to create a div in our document, right? And so here in the indicator in this, and we are assigning to a constant variable, right? And in this we are going to add a class list. So suppose we have a four indicators, right? So four div elements will be created automatically. So here let me show you. So we have a dots, right? So let's go to the slider indicator. So you can see that the four indicator has created automatically, but we have not added these four div inside our here index.html. It is created by the JavaScript, right? And here you can see that another class active. If it is active, then we are applying this white color and a scale, right? So this div, the third indicator, has the active. Suppose I go to the first, see, it has changed to first active, right? So you can see that in the real time how it is changing the classes, right? So this div has created in this parent slide containers using JavaScript, right? So this is called DOM manipulation. So if you don't know, you can go and learn the DOM manipulation. So it is very easy. So here we are adding the class, so we are using class list. So indicator in this div we are to add the class, so we have to use class list dot add indicator, means this indicator class we want to add to this div. Now if any user will click on this, suppose when we are clicking on this, right, it should go to that slide. So it will go to that slide. So go to slide 1. So this is the go to slide function that we have not created yet. So how we are going to that slide? So we are going to create a go to slide function, and this function of what it does, right? When user will click, it will go to that slide. Suppose it current is 0, so the first image has a 0 index. So when we click on this, so go to slide 0, so it will go on the 0 slide when you click on the indicators. So each indicator has a unique index. So this indicators, the fourth, this is the fourth indicator, have a index 3, right? Because it started from 0, right? And after creating, see, we have created this element. Now we have created, but to which element we have to attach? So we are creating as a child, and we have to add to the parent. So parent is our slider indicator, and this slider indicator we have selected by using our JavaScript slider indicator. Where is our indicator? You can see that the indicators id. So using this id, we have to select that element, and in that element we have to attach this child. This is the indicator child. So we are adding this indicator child, append the child to our this parent. So this parent is coming from the this top, right? So we have to attach this child to this parent using append child. So it will automatically create this div inside the parent. So where it is, so in the slide it will create automatically these four divs, right, inside the parent. So this is the parent indicators, right? So after that we have to attach the event listener. So we have to write the code for this function. So we have to attach the event listener. So multiple event listener we are going to attach. So let me show you. So you can pause the video and you can type the code, and I'm not typing, just I'm copying pasting the each function code. You can go and get the free source code on my GitHub if you don't want to type and all. So no worries. So here attach event listener. So this is the function that we have created in our constructor, right? So what this function does, so we have to attach the event listener. Suppose when the user will click on the previous button, it is going to that slide, right? The next slide, previous slide. When the user is dragging, right, it is going sliding, right, the images. When the user is clicking the arrow icon, when the user like touch on the phone, right? If you go and view this project on the phone, so you can swipe with the fingerprints, right? When you click in the indicator, it is going. So many like event listener this we have attached to our image slider. How we are going to attach? So this is the previous button. So we have to attach the event listener to this previous button. So we have created this previous button here on the top. Previous, we have selected that element, right? So in that button we want to add a event listener. Click in main, because we are going to click on this, right? So we have to click on this and it will go to the previous slide. So previous slide, this function we have created, but we have not written the code for this previous slide. We will write below. So when the user will click on this, it will go to the previous slide. When the user will click on the next button, it will go to the next slide. Now let's attach for the another like dragging event. So with the mouse we are dragging, right? For the mouse we are dragging, right? Let me show you here. For the with the mouse we are dragging, right? You can see that I'm dragging with the mouse. So we have to attach the listener to this slider. So the slider is here the element, that the parent element. This is the parent element, right, that we have selected. Suppose in the mouse down, mouse up, mouse move, mouse leave. So what it does, so this is the event that we are using. Mouse up, mouse, with the mouse we are dragging on that handle start dot bind this. So what it does, it will bind the current the current element to the like handle start. So handle start means, suppose we started from here. So on the mouse start and we are moving our mouse, and mouse is up and bind. So it will click on that event. So we are activating that event on this mouse. Like we mouse up and down, it will drag that element to the specific position, right? When we like drag with our mouse, like mouse down, up, move, leave, when you leave that. So let me show you. So here when we dragging, right, on the left side, on the right side, see, and it is sliding, right? So we have to attach this event, and we have to handle like start, move, we are moving, ending. Here we are reading on mouse up and mouse leave. So similarly, suppose this is for the like mouse. Suppose we are on the our mobile devices. We want to, when the user touch start, touch move, and touch end. This is the three event. User started the sliding, user is moving, right, and user has ended the touch. So with this event we have to attach this handle start, handle move, and handle end, right? So these are the simple event listeners. Now we have one more event listener. Suppose on the keyboard you are clicking on arrow left, arrow right. So here we are adding the event listener key down. So when press the like arrow left, e dot key means event dot key. We are passing the event e in the callback function. If e dot key is arrow left, see, if you click arrow left I button in your keyboard, it will go to the previous slide. So we will write the previous slide function. We have not written this currently, so we will write the previous slide function below the code for that. And if the key we have clicked on the right side, it will go to the next slide, right? It will click on the arrow, right? Now disable the right click menu on the slider. So and useful on the mobile long press. So when we click right click on this, we don't want to show the like inspect element. So on the image we don't want to, so here we can click on right and we can inspect the element, right? But because we are sliding on the image, right, we don't want to add the like right click on the image, it is not good. So we have to attach the event listener on this also, and we are using context menu event. In this we are using e.prevent default, and it will disable the right click menu, right, on the our like slider. Now handle start. So let me, so here we are using handle start, handle move, right, and handle end. So we have to write this methods, right? We have to write the code for this method. So what this handle start, how this handle move will work, how this handle end will work. So we'll write the code for that also. So let me show you how we can write like handle. When the user see, we have to write like handle start event. So when the user like when the drag or a touch start, so that time what we want to do, so first of all we have to make the dragging true. Here initially the dragging is false, right? Now let me close this. Okay, let me close this. Yes. So when the handle start, that time we have to make each dragging true, means user is dragging. Then we have to add the class add dragging class, right, to that slider. So here let's go for this slider container where we are adding. So slider, and this is slider is coming from this slider element, the parent element, right? When we user is dragging, it will add the slide drag. See. So here you notice here is the only one class slider. When I touch on this, see, when I start dragging, when I click on the my menu icon, it added the here the dragging. So when I remove it, the dragging class has been removed. So when I touch this, so dragging class has been right added. And when we are moving, so you can see that here you will see translate x. So in the x direction, see, it is translating, right? You can see the how many pixel we have translated. See the style, right? See the live. So we have to get all the width, right? How much we have the start like start position. Here we have added on the x direction how much we have. So get position x, so it will get the x position in this how much we have moved in the x position. And animation id, so here we are requesting, this is the provided by the javascript, right? Request animation frame, and this callback in this we have to passing the animation bind dot this. So animation may not exist tag was added. So here we are binding our animation to our like when the start animation loop and prevent the text and images dragging. So we are preventing the text and images dragging by event prebold default, right? So let's write the code for handle move. So when we start, then time these things will happen when we start moving. So what are the things we have to do? So let me show you. You can pause the like video and you can copy the code. So let me show you what it does. So first of all, we are making, if it is not dragging this, so we are going to return nothing. If only act if it is dragging, so this will act when we are dragging, right? So in this we have to get the current x position. So when we are moving, right, see, when we are moving, so translate x, you can see that how much we are translated, but we have to get the current x position, and the current translate become equal to previous translate. So here current translate is initially 0 and position is 0 at what position we have started, right? So suppose I start from this position or this position on the image slider, so it will get the position of that point, right, in the x direction. We are here, we are getting the previous, so previous translates and plus current position, and we are subtracting the starting position. So after that we are going to get the current translate, how much we have translated. Then we are adding a resistance if the dragging beyond the limit. So suppose we are here dragging beyond the limit, so suppose we are go on the this, so here we are dragging below the limit, see, right? So that time we have to, where it is, so we are adding resistance and max translate 0, a left limit, right, and the minimum translate we have added with the total slide, multiply with the slide width, the right limit, right? And then we have, if the current translate is greater than the max translate, then, right, we have to get the current translate with the maximum translate plus this current translate minus max translate into 0.03. So here let me show you, see, this is the sliding, right, when we are translating, right? So you can see that, so when we slide to this position it will automatically slide. So so it is finding the translate x position, right, and according to this it is sliding. So if the current translate is less than the, so when we are sliding this much width only, then it is not sliding. So suppose see, it is not sliding. When I slide to this much width, then it is sliding. So for that we have added this logic here. So this might be some complex logic, so don't worry, you can go through the code, you will find the code on the GitHub. Now we have another like function we have added, like where it is, a, here we have a handle start move and we have a handle end. When we end, so when we will stop dragging, so when we'll stop dragging, what we have to do, so when we'll in the handle like stop dragging, then it will only proceed if it is dragging, right? So this dot dragging false means we are not dragging anymore, then we will remove the class list dragging. So when we start, so it added the class list dragging, you can see that when we remove the our dragging, then it will remove the class also. So this is the important thing, when we are removing or like dragging, then we have to remove the class also, right? And cancel the animation also, we have to cancel the animation. Then total movement, we have to count the total movement, right, distance. Then we have to find the 20% threshold for the changing slide. So when we drag the 20%, then if the slide should change based on how much it was dragged. So moved by this dot current slide is less than the total slide minus 1, then move to the next slide. So what is that, suppose I drag this much only, so then it is sliding. Suppose I drag this much only, it is not sliding, see. So it is finding the how much weight we have slided. So we are decide change based on the how much we have dragged, and after that you have to update the slider position and update the indicators also. So when we are sliding, right, when we are ending, so suppose we have slide to this, so we have to add the width, so we have to update the width of the slide and the update the indicator, because we want the like the second indicator right now. So we have to call this function here also, right? Then how we are going to get the position x? So here like attach event listener, where we have used get position x. So where it is, let me show you. Get position x, how we are going to get the position, right, on the x direction. So to get the position on the x direction, we have to write this function here. So what this function does, right, so this function, it it created a event. So in this event it will return if mouse, if type include mouse, then e dot client text, and if you are touching on the phone, right, then it will go with the e dot touches, and then it will go to the client text. So on for the first array, right, of the object, right, and it will get the client text, and if you are using mouse, it will automatically go for the client text. So it all the things will present in the window object, right, of your like page. And so we have applied animation loop, right? So for that we have added the animation like function. In this, if it is dragging, then select the slider position and the request animation frame we are binding with the continuing loop. Then we have to set the slider position, right? So how we are going to set the slider position, that update the slider position, but we have to set the slider position, right, also. So when you go above where it is so update the slider, so we have to update the slider position. And here, so here we are setting the slider position, this dot slider style dot transform. So here when we are dragging, right, see, translate style transform translate text minus 299. So this current slide translate in the pixel. So you can see that the in the pixel here, you can see that how we are going to add here. So we are going to add using this. So this find the translate exposition, right, and after that we have to update the slider position. So to update the slider position, we have to get the current translate. So how we are going to get the current translate? Previous translate is equal to previous translate equal to minus this dot current index into what is the current index of the image, then we have to multiply with the slide width of the image. Then after that, in that slider we have to transform how much we have transformed, that we have to calculate with that. So here it will indicate. So suppose I want on the this, so here it is in the zero pixel. Then when we are on the second image, so it is on minus 299. When we are on the third, it is going to minus 598. So we are calculating using this, and we are updating the position based on the previous. So we are using minus. So that's why it is working on the like when we slide. So we have to update the indicators, right? So suppose we are on the first indicator, second indicator, how we are going to update? So we have to select the indicators, right, the indicator class that we have created using JavaScript, that class we are selecting here. So how we are going to select this dot indicator, this is the parent, and in this parent we have to select all the indicators, the four elements will be created, right, based on the for loop that we have created above, right? And for each element we have to attach the index, right, and we have to attach the active class, right, and it will toggle based on the change of the index. So index equal to this dot current index. Suppose above the current index is 0, right? So when we change on the other image, the current index become 1 2 3. So based on the attaching of the and the moving of the like images that we drag. So let me close all this. So here, and it will apply the active class. So what this active class does, it make the like, if it is active, make it background white and all, right? And after that, update the indicator. We have to move the next slide and the previous slide. So when we are clicking on this, we have to go to the previous and the next slide. So how we are going to create? So we have added if this function, right? In this function, if the current index is less than the total slide minus 1, then it will go to the current index plus plus. So if you are on the fourth slide, it will not go for the like other. So here we are updating the slider position and the update the indicators also, so that it maintain the consistency through the each image. And if it is the current index is greater than 0, then it will go to the previous line, and we are going to subtract because we are going to back images, right? Then suppose we want, when we click on the indicator, and it should directly go on that. So when I click on this, it will go on the fourth. So how we are going to go? If the current index, so we are passing as index as a parameter here. If the index is less than the total slide, then current index equal to index. So each indicator has an index. So when you click, and it will should match with the image, the slider, and after that it will go to that slide, and it will update the position and indicators, right? Then we have to, when the HTML, so out of this document, when like HTML document has been completely loaded and passed, that time we have to like create a new instance of the like Draggable. So here is the class, so we have to create the instance, right? So to create that instance, we have to use the document dot add event listener. When the document loaded, right, then we are using, this is the add event listener. So add this event listener, we are calling this function new image slide. If you not call this function, this draggable functionality will not work. See, it is working, right? Now when I remove this, when I remove, if I not created this instance, it will not work. See, so when we are creating the class, we have to create the instance also, right? So we are creating the instance of the draggable slide class, right? And we are making the scroll bar smooth. So when we scroll the element, the behavior will be smooth. So you can see that it is dragging, and you can see that in the drag and on the indicator side, so it is working. And the arrow icon, you can see that the arrow icon, and you click on the left and right arrow on the keyboard, it is working totally fine. You can see that totally working fine. So this how we have to create. And when we create your class, you can use the multiple times for the instead for the eh, other right, other element, that component we suppose we want to create in our project, we can use the reuse that class, right? And we can create the instance. So this how we have created our image slider using the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So we will get the full source code of this project on my GitHub. So please go and give a star on my repository and follow me on GitHub. So thanks for watching. We'll meet in next video with a new amazing project. So thank you.